Our journey begins deep within the ancient woods, where natural resources provide endless possibilities for shelter building.
Selecting the proper ground is absolutely critical for establishing a secure and stable foundation without future issues.
Clearing away the dead leaves and loose topsoil exposes the firm mineral earth required for solid footing.
Utilizing simple hand tools allows precise removal of roots while preserving the surrounding delicate ecological balance intact.
Measuring the dimensions carefully ensures the interior space will retain adequate body heat during freezing winter nights. Fallen timber from recent storms offers excellent structural beams without needlessly damaging healthy living trees nearby today.
Heavy logs are transported slowly across the uneven terrain, using basic mechanical leverage and sheer physical endurance.
Removing the thick outer bark prevents moisture retention and significantly reduces the risk of rapid wood decay.
Sturdy corner posts are driven deep into the hardened soil to form the primary load-bearing framework. Wooden mallets deliver forceful strikes that sink the thick posts until they achieve complete vertical structural rigidity.
Horizontal crossbeams rest firmly across the upright posts to establish the basic silhouette of our structure.
Strong vines harvested from the surrounding undergrowth provide flexible bindings to secure heavy wooden joints together permanently.
Traditional square lashing techniques wrap the natural fibers tightly around the intersecting logs for maximum holding capacity.
Gathering medium-sized stones from a nearby dried riverbed supplies necessary materials for the heavy fireplace foundation.
Each river stone must feature at least one flat surface to ensure proper stacking alignment without mortar. Transporting heavy rocks requires multiple trips back and forth across the steep embankment throughout the entire morning. Heavy stones form a protective barrier that isolates extreme fire temperatures from the surrounding wooden structural elements. A thick layer of wet sand fills the gaps between base rocks to create an insulated floor.
Constructing the wattle walls begins with weaving flexible green saplings between the sturdy vertical wooden support poles.
This ancient basket weaving technique creates a highly resilient lattice that will eventually support heavy mud plaster. Tension builds within the wooden matrix as each new branch bends tightly against the rigid upright supports. The rhythmic motion of bending and securing branches transforms the empty framework into a solid physical barrier.
Leaving specific gaps within the woven wall ensures adequate space for a sturdy door and small window.
Locating a reliable clay deposit near the riverbank provides the essential binding agent for our earthen mixture.
Dark river clay contains excellent plastic properties necessary for forming durable walls that resist harsh exterior weather.
Extracting thick chunks of raw clay requires significant effort, as the dense material clings tightly to shovels. Dry grass and fallen pine needles are gathered to serve as fibrous reinforcement within the mud mixture. Combining natural clay with organic fibers significantly increases overall tensile strength and prevents severe cracking upon drying.
Water is slowly poured into the shallow mixing pit to soften the hardened clay blocks for stomping.
The sticky mud mixture feels incredibly dense and heavy as it transfers from the pit to buckets.
Pushing the mud deeply through the gaps ensures both sides of the wattle structure lock together securely.
The first layer of daub establishes a rough base that requires several days of natural solar drying. Returning to the stone fireplace requires mixing a specialized thermal mortar capable of withstanding extreme direct heat.
Pure clay mixed with fine sand creates a fireproof binding paste that locks heavy stones securely together.
Stacking flat stones forms the combustion chamber, where future fires will provide essential warmth and cooking capabilities. The firebox shape tapers upward gently to encourage proper draft dynamics and efficiently expel dangerous exhaust smoke. Carefully selected lintel stones bridge the hearth opening to support the massive weight of the rising chimney. Building the chimney shaft demands strict attention to vertical alignment to prevent structural collapse under its weight.
Thick layers of clay mortar fill every internal void to guarantee dangerous sparks remain safely contained inside.
The completed masonry chimney extends significantly past the planned roofline to catch passing breezes for better updraft.
Constructing the roof framework involves placing angled wooden rafters that slope steeply downward from the central ridgepole.
A steep roof pitch allows heavy rain and melting snow to slide off quickly without penetrating inside. Smaller horizontal purlins are lashed across the main rafters to create an intersecting grid for thatch attachment. Securing these overhead beams requires precarious balancing while tying complex knots with wet vines high above ground.
The finished roof skeleton projects a fascinating geometric pattern against the bright blue afternoon sky stretching overhead.
Harvesting tall prairie grass provides an excellent traditional thatching material possessing remarkable natural water-resistant insulating properties.
Sharp blades cut through the dense grass stalks quickly before gathering them into tight, manageable transport bundles. Organizing the dried grass into equal-sized sheaves ensures the final roof layer remains beautifully uniform throughout.
Thatching always begins at the lowest roof edge to ensure overlapping layers shed downward flowing water correctly.
Strong hemp cord tightly binds each individual grass bundle directly onto the horizontal wooden roof support purlins. Successive rows of golden thatch overlap the previous layer heavily to create a thick, impenetrable weather barrier. The roof thickness gradually increases until it reaches nearly 12 inches of dense, insulating dead grass material. Trimming the uneven, overhanging edges with a sharp knife gives the shelter a neatly finished exterior appearance. Capping the highest ridge with a final folded layer of dense grass completely seals the vulnerable peak. Heavy wooden poles drop over the roof peak to pin the topmost thatch securely against violent winds. Inside the shelter, dark shadows recede as ambient sunlight filters softly through the open doorway and window. Spreading dry wood ash across the earthen floor deters burrowing insects while helping absorb excess ground moisture. Constructing a raised sleeping platform elevates the occupant above the cold ground to retain crucial body heat. Straight pine poles form a simple rectangular bed frame lashed securely against the interior corner wall supports.
Flexible green branches woven across the bed frame provide a supportive mattress foundation that bends under weight.
A thick layer of freshly gathered pine boughs offers incredible natural insulation and comfortable aromatic sleeping conditions. Building a heavy wooden door requires splitting thick logs into flat planks using primitive wooden wedge tools. The rough planks join together tightly using horizontal cross braces secured firmly with hand-carved wooden pegs.
Wooden hinge mechanisms carved directly into the frame allow the heavy defensive door to swing open smoothly.
Closing the thick door instantly dampens the external forest noise and isolates the internal living space completely. Carving a small wooden latch secures the entrance firmly against nocturnal predators wandering through the dark woods. Preparing the clay fireplace for its inaugural burn requires gathering dry kindling and seasoned hardwood split logs. A small preliminary fire generates gentle warmth designed to slowly cure the damp clay without thermal shock.
Tiny flames lick against the interior masonry as thick white smoke immediately drafts upward through the chimney.
The flawless updraft completely clears the interior air, leaving the shelter smelling faintly of toasted pine resin. Heat radiates strongly from the stone hearth, warming the entire earthen interior within a matter of minutes. As the clay mortar cures, it transforms from a dark, wet brown into a hardened, light gray.
The baked earth fireplace now resembles solid rock, capable of safely containing massive roaring winter heating fires.
Adding larger logs increases the thermal output while casting beautiful dancing orange shadows across the smooth walls.
Outside the shelter, smoke billows steadily from the tall chimney, indicating a fully functional internal heating system.
The grass roof successfully repels a sudden afternoon rain shower, keeping the interior environment completely bone dry.
Raindrops strike the thick thatch exterior, silently demonstrating the incredible acoustic insulation provided by natural building materials.
Stacking extra firewood neatly along the exterior wall under the roof overhang keeps future fuel supplies dry.
A carved wooden bowl rests perfectly upon the flat stone mantel, above the crackling, warm hearth fire.
The finished bushcraft shelter blends seamlessly into the surrounding wilderness, looking like a natural forest landscape feature. Thick mud walls capture and hold thermal energy efficiently, acting as a massive heat battery and overnight continuously. As evening approaches, the dark forest canopy obscures the sky, while golden light spills from the window. Creating completely sustainable architecture using solely native forest resources represents the ultimate mastery of ancient wilderness survival. This sturdy wattle and daub construction method has sheltered human beings successfully across countless generations of history. Every log stone and handful of clay contributes vital strength to this beautiful primitive architectural masterpiece today.